decapitate the former lord. The entire rest of the day, the men partied and celebrated, paying no heed to the corpse strewn about the property. Even the injured joined in. Nothing could stand in the way of their merrymaking. They raised goblets to my great accomplishment, and I smiled along. Though their fiery passion could not penetrate the cold bubble that had formed around me. The only real fervor I had felt all day was why I crossed swords with Barnier. Now, my head was surprisingly clear. Perhaps clear wasn't quite right. It was stagnant. I felt as though I was suspended in a dark sludge. Barnier's dying words hovered around me. By the time I figured out what it meant to be a lord, I wouldn't be the kind-hearted friend of the people anymore, he had said. That I had no one to trust. That it would eat away at me, drive me mad, and then I would be my own executioner. Again and again I tried to tell myself that I wasn't like him, that I wouldn't end up like him. But his voice, his curse, refused to leave me. Images of his decapitated head flashed through my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling that one day they would eventually be my head.
Well, there you are, kid. Been wondering where you ran off to.
Oh, Gratien.
How goes it? That sure ain't the face of a man who just pulled off a goddamn revolution. Your wound hurting? Got something that can make the pain go away if you want some. There we go. Here she is. Take one of these leaves and grind it up the back of your mouth. Just start tingling right at the back of your head in no time. And then all the pain's gone, like it was never there. Some pretty great shit. You don't mind getting a little loopy for a bit, anyway. But after all that, like you're gonna need to think straight for a while. So what do you say? Take a few?
I think I'll pass. There's hurt, but I can handle it.
Then why the long face? You're a hero now. We're gonna be looking up to you. And that ain't a great look. What's with the big rock? I don't remember seeing this here before.
Please don't touch it. It's Ceren's gravestone.
Ah, so that's what's got you down in the dumps, huh? I mean, I get it. Sure as hell didn't see that one coming either. How about a shocker? Sweet little thing like her in bed with the Lord. Well, we can't be fucking scary creatures at times. I don't even want to think about what kind of shit she was scheming while she got all chummy with us.
There's no mask, no facade, no scheming. She was always just being herself.
You out of your mind, kid? She planned this for months. Not the tiniest hint. That ain't a facade. I don't know what is.
She never believed herself to be lying to us. Assuming Ceren generally didn't grasp the concept of sadness or fear, that was incapable of experiencing negative emotions, then it does kind of add up. She loved the Lord, while also enjoying her time with us. To her, they weren't mutually exclusive. To her, feeling both was not wrong.
Well, it looks like you're a lot better at arithmetic than me, because that don't come close to adding up in my head. Or maybe you just don't want to accept that it was all a big fat lie.
Perhaps. I'm not Ceren. I don't know what she had with the Lord. So all I can do is speculate. Perhaps I do merely want to believe that she was part of the family. Gratien, could I ask you to keep this from Maria and the other girls?
You sure?
Regardless of what Ceren's actual feelings were, I don't see any reason to sully their memory of her.
Fair enough, I guess. Not like the dead can make their own case. So at least we could do it for the ones that... Whoa, sorry, whoa. It's not to taint their memory. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up over here. My gosh. Unless someone knows how to bring them back, that is.
Indeed.
You sure everything's good, kid?
What are you so concerned about?
This is yours now. We leave. You'll be staying here. I just want to make sure you're really up for it. If you want, I can take your place.
Pardon?
If you think being in charge will be too much to handle, I'll gladly take it off your shoulders. Hell, we both know I'm more of a fighter than you. Get taking Barnier out with him getting so much as a scratch in on me. What do you say? I'll do it.
Don't be stupid. The whole city would be savages by year's end you were in charge.
I'm just offering you a way out, kid.
It's my burden to bear. I have no intention of passing it off. I'll have myself back in order by tomorrow.
Well, if you say so. Don't forget, you're in this for the long haul.
Don't worry, I can handle it.
So, do you have any specific plans moving forward? The woman you were conspiring with, I don't even remember how to pronounce her name. Generva?
Try your best.
Was it? They offed her, didn't they? Ginevra, what's that?
She's hardly the only noble hoping to see Barnier overthrown. I have to start by building up a solid foundation of supporters among the nobility.
Do we really need the Dick Squad on our side, though? Why don't we just cut ourselves off from all that crap and start our own country? Police just for us. No royalty or nobility to rob us blind. Just our city.
That'll be ideal, but unfortunately, it isn't quite so simple. We can't just overthrow the Lord, take over the city, and build a big wall around the borders. Without a clear, legitimate transfer of power, the neighboring counts will undoubtedly intervene.
So we fight back. What's the problem?
Our little band of peasants was only able to take down the Lord because we had the elements of surprise. What happens when a trained, organized army marches on our borders? You don't need me to answer that for you.
Well, it's kind of a massive bitch, huh? A hell of a lot better than having old Barnier in power, I guess. You'll change things for the better, though, won't you?
You have my word.
Great. So, Jacobo. We'll be parting ways here soon and all. I want you to know, I'll never forget this day. Crashed the gates of hell together and made the devil our bitch. Don't matter how far apart we are. Nothing will change what we've been through. So let's make this city into the best goddamn city around. You from the top, me from the bottom.
Yes, let's. It's a great comfort to know I have you down there. I have a good deal of trust in you.
I won't disappoint you, kid. Don't you ever hesitate. Give me a shout if you need something. When we first met, I kind of wanted to throw you off a cliff. You still rub me the wrong way sometimes. But I also consider you one hell of a partner. I mean that. We risked our lives for each other. Brothers in arms.
Thank you. I too consider you a good comrade. You and the rest of the gang.
I was beginning to think you'd never come out and say it. Now, remember, kid, don't you let us down with this. You'll be hearing from us. Capiche? No, you can do it.
I won't let you down. It'll all go fine. I have allies. Friends I can count on. With that hope, I can change things for the better. I can. Believe in myself. I can do this. I have no reason to think otherwise. This fluttering in my stomach. It's nothing to be concerned about. When that faded night came to an end, the vast bright blue sky of morning greeted me. I looked up at that sky, standing in a manner that still reeked of blood, and Morgana filled my thoughts. If she were here now, what would she say to me? Congratulations? It was so unlikely I let out a little laugh. She would undoubtedly criticize me for seizing power through such violent means. Her lips would twist into a scowl and she would damn me to hell for the 1000th time. She would tell me what I had done was extremely foolish. But perhaps she would also express some concern about my injuries. That was all my own imagination, though. She would never be at my side again. I would never look up at the same sky again. Never hear her sing again. My old life was gone, a relic of the past. Would never be the same again. Not without the girl I loved being a part of it. Recollections of an Outlaw.
Oh no.
Go ahead, Greg.
No way.
Am I doing a specific voice here, or am I just reading? Or should we just kind of figure it out?
Remember when you were voicing the bandits that attacked us? Just go with
I
whatever
guess
you
I'll
want.
just go with her. Yeah. You're in the mood for something juicy, you say? Hate to break it to you, chum. I ain't made of dough. Like a nice slab of meat, as much as the next bloke. I'm barely making do as is. We are, in case you hadn't noticed. What? You're not hungry. You just want a juicy story to go with your drink? And why didn't you just say that to begin with? Give me a sec. I think I got one you'll like. A few months back, me and a bunch of other blokes went out on a raid. This puny little village. They didn't do much trade, just living off what they could grow, so no one figured we'd make out with much. grab a little grub, blow some of the girls. That was the best anyone was hoping for. Business as usual. We killed the guys, had some fun with the girls, then killed them too. Nothing too interesting, nothing real exciting up to that point. That changed when I bust into this one house. A man, a woman, a little girl, me, 5 years old. Siblings. No siblings, just a girl. We're a small family for a village like that. Comes at me to protect the girl. The ma tries to block my way. No surprise here, I killed them off. Couple of unarmed farmers. Easy as snapping a baby's neck. I'd left the kid. Seemed like she could do nothing. So I didn't have to kill her. But you know how the stupid things get. Crying like it's the end of the bloody world. So I figured I'll run her through before she starts howling on me, right? But get this. Kid smiled at me and said, "Where are you from, mister?" Couldn't believe me ease. "Girl, your parents were just killed by me. I'm coming to kill you next." "How the hell are you smiling? How the hell are those the first words out of your tiny little mouth?" It creeped me out, truth be told. So much so I lost all interest in killing her. So I dug around for anything worth taking and then went on my way. But this damn kid, I tried to leave and guess what? She fucking follows me. Doesn't want revenge or nothing, just smiling like a fool. I'm a patient bloke, but this was beyond the pale. I yelled at the stupid thing. "What the hell are you following me? Piss off!" She gives me this confused look and says, "I'm bored." "Oh, I'm bored. Everyone else stopped moving, so I have nothing else to do. But you're still moving, mister." My damn head was spinning. She was maybe 5, yeah. I can understand her being a little stupid, but she should know right from wrong to know. Be scared of me. You have to be out of your mind to come trotting after the bastard who just offed your parents. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what her problem was. She wasn't right in the head. I gave her to piss off. She wasn't hearing it. The other guys started talking. Maybe we should just neck her, right? And one guy says with a big smile, "Let's say we take bets on what it takes to make this kitty cry." So we did just that. Started placing bets. Give her a good yell and she'll cry. Knock her around some, that'll do it. Say yank out a tooth or two. Rip her nails one by one. Finally, claw her till she breaks. We went round and did everything we could think of. Our absolute worst. Not like we ever pretended to be good people, but every day you see a bunch of grown men taking turns knocking the hell out of a 5-year-old girl. Hell, that by itself's a good drinking story if I ever heard one. It keeps going. She never cried. No matter what we did. Not at once. Not at once. She would groan and twist her face when we hit her. So she did feel pain. Even that was only for a second. After that, she'd be back to smiling like an idiot. Tell you the truth, she seriously creeped me the fuck out. And they just end it there and forget all about her. The rest of the guys, they took a liking to her. Want to bring her back with us. I tried to talk him out of it. One guy says, "What's the big deal? Ain't like we're adopting her. We'll have some fun. When we get bored, she's gone." Pretty damn hard to argue against that. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. kept fighting him. Looked like I was trying to be a good guy or something. So now we've got this kid in the crew. 6 months or so, she's with us. Everyone's treating her like their plaything. But after a little bit, that starts to change. They start being kinda nice to her. Giving her extra food, letting her join in on conversations, that sort of thing. Still creeped me out, sure. But she never stopped smiling. She wasn't ugly or nothing. Could be kinda cute, even. She started talking with us more. I realized none of us knew this damn kid's name. So I asked her, get this. She says, I'm me. Dead fucking serious. Not like I've been saying. This girl's always never made much sense. This was on another level. So I press her. No, what's your name? She just tilts her head and says the same thing. I'm me. So you're saying your name is me? I ask. She gives me this big fat grin and nods her head. Who the hell names their kid me? Parents seem like reasonable enough folks. They at least cared enough to try and protect her from me. They just run out of ideas, trying to come up with a name for her or what? So I'm thinking to myself, I see there's something sewn into the bottom of the shirt. Look like writing, but I can't read for shite. So I go over to the only educated guy in the crew and have him look at it. Turns out it was a name. Ceren? What do you mean me? It's Ceren, I say?
Ceren.
Oh no, I'm doing it on purpose. Like he doesn't know how
okay.
to read it. Yeah. Hopefully it gets corrected. And she lights up like a fucking village we just got through with. Really? My name's Sarah? I never knew. I had the biggest sigh of my life inside of her. You're the dumbest broad I ever known. It's actually Ceren, now that I think about it. About a month after we picked the girl up, we had a bit of trouble. There's this chubby bloke by the name of Marcos, and he starts getting this thing for her, yeah? I ain't one to get on a guy about what gets his rocks off, but a 5-year-old girl? That just ain't right. Marcos was kind of slow in the head. Oh, he's at the back of the pack and also useless when we went out on jobs. The only reason we kept him around is he made a good pack mule. He was annoying as hell, as all hell besides. Always saluting and saying, aye aye. He thought we were a bunch of pirates or something. He called everyone boss, because apparently that was the only form of respect he knew. Day after day, aye aye boss, and I'm on it boss, and let me massage your back boss, was enough to drive a man mad. Because he was the first one to talk to her. Ceren started imitating him. Now we got 2 buffoons running around talking like that. Obnoxious as it was, though, end of the day, that's all it was. But that changed when Marco started getting real fond of the girl. Every little thing we did, he'd go around telling us to be nicer to her, yeah? As far as we saw it, that's when we first took her in. We were treating her pretty damn well. Of course, that's all relative. Proper slave probably still got less help from their master than we gave the girl. But remember, we only brought her along so we could have fun. Never intended to make her part of the crew. But Marcos wasn't having any of it. Son of a bitch actually snapped at us. You'll pay if you don't stop right now, boss. Pretty much what he said. Eddie wanted to fight, so we gave him a fight. The whole lot of us beat the ever-loving hell out of him. Stomped his face in so bad you couldn't even recognize the poor bastard anymore. That wasn't enough for him. His face a big bloody mess. Marco said, I won't let you lay another finger on Ceren, boss. Tell you the truth, I didn't think he had the sack. When Ceren comes strolling in, she heard the ruckus and wanted to see what was up. Marco's eyes went wide and yelled, Stay back! Girl, she just stood there, same old stupid smile on her face. Then I come in, one of the guys smirks, flops his arse down on Marco's back, holds a knife up against his neck and says, Hey, Ceren, you like Marcos? The big grin. She answers, Aye, boss. Swollen, bruised up mess his face was. You could just barely make out Marco smiling. Next, the guy on his back says, Then would it make you sad if we roughed him up a bit more? What do you mean, rough him up? Cut off his fingers, scoop out his eyes. You know, have a little fun. Fun is fun. Why would that make me sad? You hear that? I ain't making this up. Guy's still standing there, smiling, and Marcos, he goes as pale as a ghost. And he did it. He cut off his fingers. Ceren's still smiling. He gouged out his eyes. Still smiling. And finally, he slit Marco's throat. Even as the blood spraying right into her face. He never once stopped smiling. Just before he kicked off, Marcos looked like he was thrown into the deepest, darkest pit of despair. It seemed the hope drained from God knows how many men's eyes, but that was on a whole nother level. As you can imagine, I wasn't the only one Ceren creeped out anymore. Still can't get her name right, that bloke. Everyone felt the same way. She was so messed up. We all thought we might start turning into her if we kept her around any longer. The next city we landed, so Ceren off. And we all lived happily ever after, minus one twisted little girl. What do you think? Is she enough for you? You feel sick? Sorry about that, chum. Thought you had the strongest stomach. I do wonder what Ceren's up to these days. Does she still smile like an idiot, or...
Recollections of the Vassal's Wife. Kelly, you read.
Okay. Good day to you too, sir. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Yes, that's correct. This is where our slaves were when they were stolen, as I described when I reported it. What? The number of stolen slaves I gave you doesn't match the number you heard from other sources? Ah. No, I had no intention of deceiving you. I simply assumed it wouldn't be a problem because I wasn't claiming we lost more than we did. Yes, I understand. I beg your pardon. I should have reported the number correctly. I will do so in the future, so please, if you would look the other way just this once. Why did I report fewer slaves were stolen? I imagine you would find that curious, yes. Why would anyone want less of their lost manpower returned to them indeed? It's quite simple. I didn't think it would be any great loss if she were not to come back. Oh no, she was a fine worker. And she didn't cause any trouble either. You want to know about the girl? I doubt it will be of any help to your investigation, but I don't mind telling you. I warn you, it's not a terribly pleasant story, though. Very well, as you wish, sir. We purchased her when she was about 5 years old, so she's been with us for quite some time. 8, maybe 9 years now. When we bought her, she was still too young to put to work. She was in good health, though, and always had the sweetest smile on her face, so I had little doubt she would do as she was told. Slaves tend to be so gloomy and depressing, you know? Not that I don't understand, but unlike many, we try not to mistreat our slaves. As long as they do their work, they have nothing to worry about. The best slaves, I think, are the ones who aren't so dreary as to be infectious and make us feel guilty. The girl's name was Ceren, and while she talked rather funny, she was as bright and cheerful as I had hoped. And she was always, always smiling from ear to ear. For a while, it felt like we had a brand new member of our family. I was so taken with her, I almost considered adopting her instead of keeping her as a slave. And how did I go from wanting to take her in to not caring if she didn't come back? It's rather difficult to explain, to tell you the truth. Yes, that's right. She never caused any trouble. She never stole anything, and she never refused to work. She never cried, and she never got upset. No matter what happened, she always did her work with a smile on her face. That sounds like the ideal slave? Yes, you would think so. And I have no complaints regarding her work. Neither did my husband, nor our servants. I imagine I'm the only one who would be happy to never see her again. I started thinking the girl peculiar about 2 years after we purchased her. Right around that time, one of our other slaves attempted to run away. Yes, that's right. As I said, we have never once mistreated our slaves. Other slave owners could learn a thing or two from us, I say. We tell all our slaves when we buy them that they will be set free as soon as they've worked hard enough to pay back what we paid for them. So he had only 10 years, and then he would have been free. But he chose to spit in the face of our generosity, and... My apologies. I've gotten off track, haven't I? The slave who ran was captured soon after. But trying to flee is one of the greatest transgressions a slave can commit against his master. As such, it was, as I'm sure you understand, necessary to punish him. But I assure you, we never mistreat... Yes, I'm sorry. I'll continue. So, as I said, he had to be punished. My husband took a length of rope and used it as a whip, I think it's called. He had all the slaves watch as he lashed the one that had tried to run. It was for their own sake. The other slaves needed to see what would happen if they attempted to flee. The lashing continued for a full day. All the slaves present reacted differently. Some averted their eyes, some cried, some looked on trembling, but it was clear they were afraid, which meant the punishment had served its purpose. For everyone except Ceren, that is. Yes, that's correct. She simply smiled. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But every time I looked over at her, I saw the same thing. As the slave being lashed screamed out in pain, Ceren didn't even flinch. She just stood there, smiling. Just looking at her gave me the chills. My husband thought it curious as well, but he wasn't nearly as put off as me. She was 7 at the time and a hard worker, and he said there was no issue as long as she didn't cause any trouble. But that completely misses the point, you know? She gave me the creeps. I wasn't comfortable with her around. But of course, my husband has the final say. I couldn't defy him. Did my best to forget that day. I couldn't get the girl out of my mind, though, no matter how hard I tried. My gaze was drawn to Ceren, and I noticed quite a bit as I observed her more carefully. Say one of the slaves hurts himself while working. You might expect another slave to ask if he's all right, to help patch up the wound, to volunteer to take on his responsibilities for the day, to show concern and compassion. But Ceren, she would just smile and go on her way, not a word. She was hardly perfect either. Is anyone, though? And she would make mistakes occasionally. Everyone slips up. We try not to make a huge fuss about it because we sincerely value our slaves and the work they... My apologies. In any case, we can't simply brush such mistakes off, so we make sure to admonish them whenever something happens to ensure things run smoothly. But even as I scold her, Ceren's still smiling. As I'm sure you can imagine, it's hard not to feel as though you're being disrespected. So once, I lost my temper and smacked her. It was only the once, though, I swear. I'm not a violent woman. I hate raising my hand to anyone. I was sure that, if nothing else, that would make her cry. But still, she smiled, with half her face red and swollen. I was so perplexed I came straight out and asked her, "Why do you not cry?" "I just hit you. How can you keep smiling?" And she said, "Why would I cry? I'm not sad about anything." Pressing the issue further, I discovered she had evidently never felt bad for anyone in her life, including herself. Can you imagine? How terrible is that? It's not right. So I decided I needed to teach her how she was supposed to act. I taught her that when she saw someone get hurt, she needed to show sympathy. That when she was being reprimanded, she needed to show remorse and a desire to improve. Ceren listened carefully to every word I said, and before long, she started putting my teachings into practice. At first, I was relieved. Ceren was finally a regular girl. She showed concern, compassion, regret. But it was all an act. She acted sad when someone got hurt, and then she turned around and was smiling again. It never lasted more than a few moments. Emotions were but a flash, there, then gone before you realized. It wasn't normal.
A moment.
Mm-hmm.
Take your
The
sweet
wall
time.
has returned.
At least the wall of text returned.
Also, hi, Light. I didn't get to say hi earlier.
Yeah, I was in the car for about 20 minutes before I came over here.
Welcome.
I just listened to you guys through my phone until I popped over.
Now we both are getting to experience reading the wall.
I've joined the Wall of Fame.
Everybody is now learning how fucked up I am, which is a lot.
You gotta love my character here teaching the psychopath how to pretend. Good idea.
I love the moment, like, I have slaves, but I'm nice. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she clearly thinks very highly of herself and her husband.
Like, I'm totally not an awful person.
Right, continue on with your story. And mute yourself if you have some background noise going on, as not to distract.
Okay. It wasn't normal. Wasn't human. She didn't genuinely feel sympathy. Beyond the surface, she was no different than the girl who smiled as a fellow slave was being whipped before her eyes. Ceren had learned nothing. Unable to bear it anymore, I went to my husband again. I told him she wasn't normal. There was something wrong with her. I implored him to do something. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. She was a good worker, he said. We couldn't ask for a better slave, he said. Oh, but he couldn't have been any more wrong. He wasn't the one who had to look after her. He had no idea what she was like, how unsettling it was merely being in her presence, how deeply upsetting it was.
Before you continue, hold on. Sorry. Gabi, make sure to mute your microphone on the controller.
Well, I'm sorry. Alright.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My apologies. I'm fine now. As you can imagine, I'm not particularly fond of Ceren. So it was a weight off my shoulders when I heard she was one of the stolen slaves. Why are you giving me that look? You think I'm the one who has the problem? You think there's nothing wrong with her, just like my husband? One look at her smile and you'd know I'm telling the truth, that she's not simply a little eccentric, that there's more to it than that. I can't take it anymore. Is there no one who will understand me?
Recollections of the prostitute.
It's gotta be a woman, that's for sure.
It's your turn, Gabi.
Can I skip this one? Please? I can read another.
Okay, go ahead, keebo.
Aw, you're not gonna make light through it?
Well, Morgana keeps on complaining about being me making her a prostitute, so no.
Okay. Kick back for a bit, why don't you? I'm in the mood to talk. Nah, I'm not gonna charge extra. I don't bill by the hour. Oh, you never thought of me as a talkative girl? I guess that just goes to show how much I've taken to you. No, I'm not trying to butter you up, I swear. I've been thinking a lot these days about the place I last worked at. It's really been getting me down. I can't think of anyone I want with me at times like this more than you. Did something happen there? I've been waiting for that question. It's a bit of a long story. Hope you don't mind. There's a city about 10 days by carriage from here. You know the one, right at Lord Barnier's doorstep. The place I used to work was there, and every so often the Lord would summon a few of the prettiest girls to come to his manor. I'm hardly the best-looking girl around, even out here, so I was never one of the chosen. But honestly, I'm lucky for it. It's not the kind of thing you want to go mentioning in public, but the Lord has some, unsavory hobbies. Every girl who ever came back said, "There's no amount of money you can pay me to do that again." Word is, the Lord has a taste for torturing and killing his slaves. Just if you screw up either. Not just if you screw up either. If he's in the mood and he so much as sees you, you could be dead. He's got a dungeon under his manor too, they say, and you can hear wailing coming from down there at all times of the day. The Lord enjoys all different kinds of torture. Flaying, dismemberment, boiling, the water cure. I'm sure he uses others, but I've only heard bits and pieces secondhand. He only ever killed the slaves, though. The girls all came back in one piece. On the outside, at least. Being forced to watch people get brutally murdered did a real number on most of them. Some were so broken by the experience they couldn't work anymore. So the Lord apparently hosts banquets at his manor every so often. But here's the kicker. He only invites nobles that are into the same sort of thing. He's not the only one. We're being governed by God knows how many twisted freaks. I don't even want to think about it. Anyway, something like 2 years ago, I think it was, a couple girls came back looking a good 20 years older. They told us about one of these banquets. Most of the time, it's just him and his noble friends torturing slaves, but this one was different. There was a girl, maybe 10 years old, chained up naked on this makeshift altar, but here's where it gets crazy. The girl, who they called a saint, was covered in scars, head to toe. They cut her up and filled their cups with her fresh blood. But she didn't cry. She didn't even flinch. She just sat there quietly. And when she did speak, it was to condemn them as blasphemers and sinners. Can you imagine? Chained up like that, and she's scolding her captors, telling them God will punish them for their actions. I wouldn't have the guts. Maybe she was raised at a church or something. But I'm guessing that's got something to do with why they called her a saint. Oh yeah, the slave revolt was right around that time too. You hear about that? Just rumors? Well, they're not just rumors. It really happened. Because of the revolt, the girls who've been there made it out in mostly decent shape. And for a while afterwards, the Lord didn't send for anyone. I'm I'm guessing he was too preoccupied patching up the holes in his manner and finances to spend much time fooling around. Sort of changing topics for a sec, but about that same time, this dark-skinned girl, the kind you don't see too often around these parts, started working here. Name was Ceren. She was pretty, always had the widest smile on her face, and real friendly. Seemed like the kind of girl who'd draw in a lot of business. And I was right. Within a couple weeks, she had already picked up a few regulars, and our manager was going on about how happy he was with his purchase. About a month in, though, we started getting complaints from one of her customers. He said she was being condescending with him. I brought it up with Ceren, but she said she had no idea what he was talking about. So I assumed the customer was just imagining it, or full of it. You get guys like that all the time in this business. No, don't worry. You're not one of them. But the complaints kept coming in, which made me think maybe there was something going on. So I decided to talk things out with the guys making the complaints this time, get a better picture of what the problem was. Most of them were pretty useless and vague, but the common issue seemed to be that her behavior didn't make sense. One guy came in after bungling a huge trade deal, hoping to find some comfort, and he spilled his guts to Ceren. But instead of trying to console him, she laughed. You can see why he wouldn't be thrilled about that. When I asked Ceren about it, she gave me a confused look and said, "I thought he was telling a funny joke." There was no malice, nothing. She genuinely didn't understand how the customers wanted her to act. Can't run a business like this without a solid customer base, so making sure everyone leaves happy is crucial to operation. Which is probably not something I should be talking about with a customer, but well, you're special, so cut me some slack, okay? Anyway, something had to be done about Ceren. We couldn't risk more dissatisfied customers. So I figured the best thing to do was give her some training. Here's how you should react if a client brings up such and such, and here's what you should say if they're looking depressed or upset or whatever. How and when to be reactive and how and when to be proactive. Ceren was a quick study, so it wasn't long before she was putting my lessons to work. I would have been happy with just reducing the number of complaints to a more normal level, but Ceren improved so dramatically we heard nothing but praise from then on. Say a patron was looking a little blue, she'd give them a big pouty face and say, "What's the matter? You can tell me anything." "Oh no, that's terrible. I feel awful for you. Is there anything I can do to help? Anything at all?" Just this constant stream of comfort, almost to the point of being excessive. She had gone from bright and energetic to sweet and sympathetic as well. On the surface, anyway. Every condolence she offered was completely fake. She was acting, and I knew, because I was the one who had taught her how. There was nothing wrong with that, though. We're not in the business of genuine human interaction, after all. Thinking back on it now, though, I probably should have taught her what the real thing felt like, rather than just how to fake it. About a year later, the Lord started sending for girls again. We all knew he was a madman. That was common knowledge. But he paid well, and everyone always came back alive. So we reluctantly complied. But we were wrong. He did kill the girls this time. One came back alive, but she was missing an eye and half an arm. She was in no condition to go back to work. Even just going about her daily life would be difficult. We were aghast. But things only got worse from there. The next time the Lord sent for us, we panicked. For one, no amount of money was worth what waited at the Lord's manor. And two, it was impossible to run a business if your employees kept getting killed. So we attempted to turn him away. But his messenger simply said, "The Lord will not take no for an answer." We either complied or were all executed for treason. What little hope we had left crumbled. We were screwed either way. So we fought among ourselves like a pack of wild animals. "I'm too ugly, you go. I have more regulars, you go. No one likes you anyway." Pure chaos. I was, of course, part of the brawl. And here's where she comes in. Ceren. Everyone's in a big mob, clawing each other's faces off, and she just tilts her head and asks, "Why are you so afraid of the Lord?" Seeing that stupid, clueless look on her face, just about everyone in the room burst a vessel. "All right, we'll send her," we said, and it was decided. Ceren smiled, not bothered in the slightest, gave us a cheery "see you later," and went off to the Lord's manor. To no one's surprise, she never came back. We figured she had been killed. A week or so later, the messenger showed up again asking for more girls. By this point, the manager was furious. He demanded to speak with the Lord in person, saying if something wasn't done, the whole brothel would collapse, and he put his life on the line to prevent that. Seeing him so resolute, I felt a newfound respect for him. I also thought he was a complete idiot. But I still respected him. After all, there was no way the Lord would be open to negotiation. That much was obvious from everything he'd done. The manager and a few assistants set off for the Lord's manor. And about 2 weeks later, he returned. Or his head did. His assistants managed to avoid death, so they were able to tell us what had happened. No one was exactly thrilled to hear more twisted tales about the Lord. But we listened anyway, and no one could have imagined what they told us. Ceren was there, with the Lord, alive and well. Not only had she not been killed, he had apparently taken quite a liking to her. The manager was surprised to see her too, but he figured it was as good a chance as he would ever get. If Ceren would speak up in his favor, the Lord might actually listen to her. So, emboldened, the manager pleaded with the Lord, begging him not to harm the girls, that we wouldn't be able to send anyone else otherwise. And for attempting to oppose him, the Lord ordered the manager be executed. The manager, however, entreated Ceren for help. "If you have a heart, Ceren, please tell the Lord not to take my life. I have people who need me." Without hesitation, Ceren nodded, saying, "You think you could maybe let him live?" That seems a bit, I don't know, disrespectful for a whore to speak to the Lord like that, but he didn't get upset with her or anything. He really had taken a liking to her, apparently. The Lord nodded and said, I'll offer you a choice then. Ceren, you may have whichever one of the following you prefer. Either I spare this man's life, or you can have my full attention for the rest of the day. The manager and his assistants were all baffled. How is that even a decision? How is a man's life, a man who had employed her for more than a year no less, comparable to a little attention? But they were even more baffled by Ceren's reaction. She thought about it for a second, and then, blushing, she said, I want your attention. Everyone's jaws dropped. The manager about burst into tears. He begged her to reconsider, to have pity. He asked what he had ever done to wrong her. You never did me wrong, she said. Then why won't you have him spare me? I just want his attention more. And you're willing to let me die for that? What's so scary about dying anyway? Not only did she not comprehend sorrow, she seemed to be devoid of anything resembling fear as well. Which explained why she had so much trouble sympathizing with people suffering, why she was always smiling, no matter how bad things got. Without our manager, the brothel went to hell. His son took over, but he didn't give a damn about any of the girls. All he cared about was if he had enough booze to keep himself perpetually smashed. So, figuring I had a better chance elsewhere, I left everything behind and ran, leaving my future in fate's hands. Fate was kind to me, and I managed to make it here. They come to me in my dreams sometimes, though. I still see the faces of the poor girls we sent off to the gallows.
Ceren!
I'm sorry, I had the mic off.
It's fine.
What? Where I am again?
Awake again? Are you whore?
Oh. Mm, who are you, sir?
I see your memories have not fully recovered. Allow me to remind you how you got here, then.
Oh, no! Wait! It's right on the tip of my brain. I was at the brothel, and then I was invited to the Lord's place. I got brought to a big city. Then I was taken to the Lord's castle. The Lord called me into his room. And then he strangled me.
Indeed. Your memory has returned without problem.
I'm super duper good at remembering things. Wait. Why did you strangle me?
To test my theory.
Your theory? Of what?
That you're mad.
Mad? About what?
Not that kind of mad. First of all, I never bring just one whore to my quarters. I brought you here because you piqued my personal curiosity.
You mean you're having orgies in here every day? Ooh, you've got some serious stamina.
Not being in love with one person reduces the chance of an assassination attempt.
Oh, that makes sense. It's pretty tough being the Lord, huh? So, what are you curious about little old me for?
The other day, you and a handful of other whores attempted the torturing of a slave, if you recall. I made you all watch as he died, but you didn't seem affected in the slightest.
Oh! Crap! I'm so sorry.
For what?
I wasn't sad enough, was I? The nice farm lady and the girl at the brothel taught me how to be sad and how to be angry. But if I'm not careful, I forget. I'm sorry for being sad, not being sad like I was supposed to.
As I said, you piqued my interest. Had you sobbed and screamed like any other whore, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
What? So, me not being sad wasn't bad?
That it wasn't.
Huh? No one's ever said that to me before.
I always thought you unusual, but I couldn't be certain about what you were without getting more personal. Which is why I brought you here to test that theory. You don't fear death, do you, whore?
It's not just death. I've never felt sad or scared about anything, ever. I didn't even know sad or scared were things people felt at all until someone told me. But now I know all about them and how you're supposed to act when you feel them. I just don't know what they actually are.
Truly fascinating. Tell me more.
Huh? What do you want to know?
Let's see. Tell me your whole life story. Tell me everything, as far back as you remember.
Whoa! No one's ever been this interested in me. This is super nice. Alrighty then, I'll tell you everything. Don't hesitate to conk out if you ever get bored. And ta-da! Here I am. What'd you think? As boring as I thought it would be?
Hardly. That was easily the most engrossing childhood story I've ever heard.
Woohoo!
Smiling as your parents are killed before your eyes. I'm hardly one to talk, but you're one thoroughly heartless girl.
I still wish I could do that over. I really loved my mom and dad, and the nice farm lady taught me you're supposed to be sad when people you love die.
That's why I want to do over?
What?
You're incapable of experiencing sorrow, no? Feeling it for the occasion won't change the fact that you don't actually feel sad about losing them.
Yes, you're right. I can't pretend, but I still don't know what it feels like. I don't understand why people are so afraid of death to begin with. I mean, pain isn't fun, I get that much. But if you don't let it bother you, it's not that big a deal. Plus, once you die, you get to go to heaven. So I don't get what there is to be afraid of.
Not everyone goes to heaven.
Oh, that's right. But still, I'm sure there are plenty of fun things to do in hell.
Fascinating. You truly are twisted to your very soul.
Oh, but I do sometimes feel disappointed.
Do tell.
Like, I sometimes wish I could eat my mom's soup again. And I feel like out when everyone's talking about how weird I am. Maybe sad is just like an even stronger version of that.
I get the impression your entire experience of negative emotion is fundamentally distorted. So I don't know if you can say that.
Hmm?
Ceren,
I?
would you like to remain with me?
What?
Normally I send horrors back to where they came from, when I'm done with them. But I'm offering you the chance to stay here with me.
Are you asking for my hand in marriage? Ow! What do I do? What do I do? I went from whore to the Lord's wife in 3 seconds flat.
Fool! I would never even take a mere prostitute as a concubine.
The dread.
I am, however, fond of you. So I'm offering you a place in my house.
So you're saying you actually want me around? Even knowing what kind of person I really am?
You could say that, yes.
Whoa, no one's ever actually wanted me before.
As promised, Ceren, you have my full attention for the rest of the day. Honestly, it shouldn't surprise me anymore how twisted you are. Twisted so far, in fact, you're the most sincere and honest person in the land. To a fault. You hardly even gave that man's life a second thought. The look on his face as he died was magnificence. You are a cruel little girl.
I didn't do anything wrong, no matter what you say. I didn't steal anything. I didn't kill anyone. I tried to stay out of everyone's way as much as possible.
So you actually have some concept of right and wrong? Which means you understand that I am a wicked man?
the difference, yes.
Fascinating. However, simply knowing the difference is of no use. You don't feel the repulsion it's supposed to elicit. Knowing full well that I was acting maliciously, still you selfishly chose my affection, sentencing that man to death.
That's not what I... No, I guess you're right. I guess I did let him die for my own selfish desires. Looks like I've still got a lot to learn.
No, you say exactly the way you are. As I said before, you don't need to put up a facade around me. Don't act sad you're not sad. Don't act angry you're not angry. Don't feel in pity for someone you don't care about. Be you.
But everyone says
Your natural self neither disgusts nor disturbs me. In fact, I greatly prefer you that way. No matter how many slaves I kill and torture for my own entertainment, you never leave my side. You happily accept me, no matter what I do. I would rather not lose that. Don't stand so far away. Sit down beside me.
I...
I've allowed you to stay here for a month now. In that time, you've been a constant source of entertainment. You express no desire to leave either, despite being well aware of what kind of man I am.
The same goes for you, Barnier. You want me to stay even though I'm such a weirdo?
The difference between you and I, though, is that I kill and you do not.
You know, I've been wondering,
What?
why do you like killing so much?
It would seem your perception of me is slightly inaccurate. It's not the act of killing I enjoy, but look of dread and despair on a man's face as his life is stripped away.
There's a difference?
In your mind? Perhaps not.
I kinda like to know what it's like in your mind, and... I told you my story. Maybe you could tell me more about you, Bernier? Not that I blame you if you wanna tell a prostitute like...
You're not a prostitute anymore.
I'm not? Then, what am I?
You're my property.
Ooh, that sounds super nice.
So, to answer your question, I was not always the man I am today. I had several brothers, though I was the eldest. As such, I was first in line of succession. There should have been no question as to who was the rightful heir to the house. But my father, the previous lord, wanted my brothers to succeed him instead. Without any reason to pass over me, though, he would have faced significant opposition and put the family's reputation and legitimacy at risk. I was neither infirm nor mentally challenged, but rather extremely talented, which gave my father no leverage to deny me the throne. The one thing I lacked was sycophantry. Seeing people try to butter each other up made me physically sick. It seemed to me the last kind of behavior royalty should be engaging in. I believe that merely possessing leadership ability should be sufficient for ruling effectively. But in this world, Only those who can win others' favor make it anywhere. Only those who can make themselves look good and their peers like fools. Those who can claim each other's achievements as their own, who can appear to have more power than they actually do. My father and brothers forsook me, making an attempt on my life. Because they could not legitimately remove me as the rightful heir, they could only kill me if they wanted their way. I was fortunate enough to survive the attempt, but I still carry that scar today.
Big N on your back?
That's right. You're surprisingly observant.
Hehe.
I was in danger of not just losing their lordship, but my life. I was left with 3 choices. To let them kill me, to flee and live in poverty, or to kill them first. I was born to rule, though so, in reality, I only had one choice. I murdered my father and all my brothers, leaving me as the only one in the line of succession. But becoming the Lord did not immediately win me everyone's favor. Distant relatives crawled out of the woodwork to claim my throne as rightfully theirs. The people demanded I satisfy their every whim and fancy. And even my attendants tried to push their own agendas. The whole affair quickly grew tiring. Dozens were clamoring for a say in matters I could easily handle myself. So I silenced them. Before long, the prodding voices had become corpses. It was somewhere around that time that I found myself, intrigued by fear. Fear is a wonderful thing, an incredibly effective silencer that spreads like a plague. Sufficient application would preemptively stop everyone from interfering. Fear strips man of all his will. When it became apparent to me that one did not have to be a great leader to rule effectively, all the time I had spent in my younger days working to improve myself felt like an incredible waste. Fear became the centerpiece of my rule. As I continued to employ it, I began to derive great pleasure from the great despair it instilled in others. Men trembled at the sight of me. They bowed their heads and abandoned their dignity. They begged me to spare their lives. What an exquisite sight it was, every single time. Enrapturing. You were born into your madness, Ceren, but I was molded into mine.
Oh, that's neat. For Barnier, wouldn't that make me a bad match for you? I'm not scared of you at all.
Man is a curious beast, you see. Once everyone feared me, I then came to seek those who did not.
You're hard to please.
Ha! You make it sound like Amelia picky child. Though I suppose there's little difference in your eyes. There were a number of others among the nobles who had, like me, strayed from the path. Hardly surprised given what life as a noble is like. So I started throwing banquets, inviting those who would be interested. These parties were to serve 2 purposes. The first, obviously, being for my own amusement. The second, to find those with similar tastes and bring them into my circle. I found little success with the latter. However, despite my rather zealous attempts at recruitment, so I no longer waste the effort.
You weren't able to make friends then?
No, I was not. The other nobles had no interest in getting their own hands dirty. They only wanted to watch, get a titillation from a safe distance. Not a single one shared the same madness as me. Ceren,
I?
you're far better than any of them.
Thanks?
What are you squirming about? I thought nothing bothered you.
I am capable of getting flustered. Thank you.
There is something deeply wrong with you.
You're the one who decided to throw that curveball, Lord Barnier.
Enough for the formalities already. You're not a whore anymore. You're allowed to use my name.
That is your name, though?
You don't know your own lord's full name, do you, Ceren?
What?
Answer the question, girl.
I'm sorry.
Allow me to help. I will only say this once, so don't forget it. My name is John Francois Barnier, firstborn son and rightful heir to Barnier family.
Got it memorized. That's a really long name, though. I think I will call you Franny. That rolls off the tongue nicer. I assume I can take that cryptic chuckle as an okay.
Only wish to be hanged. Call me Francois.
Aye.
Ceren. Get up, Ceren.
Oh?
I swear, spend every moment you're not otherwise preoccupied sleeping.
I love sleep.
I said get up, you feeble-minded Nimrod!
Oh! You didn't have to hit me. There are nicer ways to wake up a girl, you know.
Be grateful I only hit you hard enough to wake you. I swear, the church may have to redefine sloth if they ever meet you.
This bed is so comfy, though.
You do realize the blood of dozens of women has seeped into every fiber.
Comfy is still comfy, though.
Ha! That wouldn't bother you, would it?
No, what's up, Francois? You need me for something?
Yes, I have a favor to ask of you.
Ooh, a favor of me? What is it? I will do anything.
Without even hearing what it is?
It doesn't matter what it is. You say the word and I will do it, Francois.
What if I asked you to take your own life, right here?
Just give me the night.
I should honestly be more used to this by now.
Why wouldn't I do anything for you, Francois? I love you. No one's ever cared for me like you before. No one's ever wanted me as much as you. You're happy with me as I am, despite me missing all the most important pieces.
Again, I really shouldn't be so surprised. Fear not, though I won't be asking you to die today.
How much harder is it gonna be then? I hope you don't want me to kill anyone. It would be my first time, and I'm not sure I could pull it off properly.
You're at the bottom of my list of prospective assassins. I thought you could successfully smother a baby. Although, you could probably cause a great deal of death, I'd imagine.
Huh?
I would like to make you into a mole.
So, you want me to dig holes?
In a sense, there's been word of unrest building in the city of late. Money and resources gathered below the table. Murmurings of resistance being organized.
So, a bunch of baddies.
Precisely. I want you to go down to the city and try to find as many baddies as you can, then report back to me. Can you do that?
I can try.
Excellent. A whorehouse would be the best place for you to start gathering information, I think. I need you to do is deliver reports. Anything more involved would probably cause the empty head of yours to burst.
Aye. I just realized if I go into the city, I won't be able to see us often, Francois.
Does that displease you?
A whole lot. Oh, I bet this is what being fat feels like.
In your twisted mind, perhaps. How about this? I'll have a servant act as a regular client of yours. He will pretend to be a well-off merchant. At regular intervals, he will patronize the brothel, requesting your services and bringing you back to his residence. You pay well enough that they won't mind you gone for a few days, during which time you can come back to the manor and see me. How does that sound?
Whee! I love it!
Next, we need to discuss how you present yourself. Although you're free to be yourself in my presence, you need to put on a suitable act down the city.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Now I'm getting butterflies.
You spent years doing precisely that before you came here.
But I didn't have you counting on me to do a good job of it back then. Francois.
Allow me to offer you a piece of advice then.
Ooh, I'm all ears.
Freely tell others about the misfortunes of your upbringing.
I don't think I had a bad childhood though.
You may not, but others will. Your parents murdered as you watched. Taken captive by the men who did it. Tell people your story, but don't act overly dejected.
Why not? Won't people think there's something wrong if I'm not sad?
People would think it's more unusual if you don't get too dramatic because it's so far out of line with your regular disposition. Good acting is subtle, not overdone.
Ooh.
People will feel great pity for you when they hear of your past. And then they will see your exuberance as a sign you fought and found the strength of will to move past your ill fortune. They'll be impressed, taken with you. So you need to exaggerate your performance. Just give it a little bit of flavor. As long as you don't tell anyone those emotions are beyond your grasp, no one will have any reason to suspect otherwise.
Huh? Neato. I'm feeling a lot better about this now.
I expect you won't disappoint me.
Aye aye, boss. So, hey, Francois.
What is it?
What would I do? What would you do if I, hypothetically speaking, if when I go down into the city, I learned what sadness and fear feel like.
I would kill you because I would no longer have any interest in you.
Awesome! I'm just glad you didn't say you were gonna kick me out. Every girl dreams of being killed by the man she loves.
No, they do not. You want me to kill you?
If it comes down to it, I guess. So really, I'd rather be with you forever.
Enter the room, Ceren, now!
Oh, you're gonna yank my arm off.
I wouldn't have to, you would move!
Oh.
Listen very carefully. You stay in this room until everything has blown over. Do not open the door for anyone.
But it's is this what I think it is?
You're only to leave the room if I tell you it's safe, or the man goes completely silent. If someone breaks down the door, tell them you're being held captive by the Lord. My predilections are well known among the people. No one will suspect you're lying. I must go now. Farewell, Ceren. I enjoyed our time together.
Oh, wait! Don't go! I've got an idea, Francois. We could escape through that window there. Tie the shit up into a rope and climb down. Then we can go somewhere far away where nobody will find us.
I do not have that liberty.
Why not?
Because I am the Lord of this land. I was born to be the Lord. I murdered my own family to keep my claim to this title. I will not abandon it until my final breath. I was a fool and a tyrant, neither a great leader nor a great man, but still I bear responsibility in my role. Fleeing is not an option.
I never thought you were a tyrant.
The rest of my lordship would disagree with you. I use fear as a weapon of control, murdering slaves for fun, and prioritizing my own desires over the needs and lives of my people. Do you have a better word for what I am? Whereas he grasped the difference between good and evil but lacked the requisite emotions to get those concepts meaning. I knowingly chose to stray from the path of righteousness.
Didn't you say you could run things just fine with fear? That it was very effective.
Indeed, you can run things exceedingly well with fear, though I never said you could do so forever. I first saw signs that people were turning against me 3 years ago. When I did what I could to crush the seeds of revolt before they grew, it would seem I missed a few.
If you knew this was coming, couldn't you have stopped it?
I've traveled so far down a wicked path, it would be nigh impossible for me to find my way back into the light. Which means all I could do is continue on and see what awaited me at the end. I could never play the benevolent ruler, though. Those people are inscrutable to me. They all appear to be either ravenous beasts or feeble-minded swine. Were I able to have any love for my own people, perhaps things could have turned out differently.
I can stay here and wait. I want to be with.
You do as I say, girl.
Oh!
What's gotten to you, Ceren? Death is supposed to be meaningless to you. You don't experience sorrow over loss.
But
Should I come back? Go on smiling. Do not think I would simply let them walk in and kill me. Have dozens of skilled guards. I can handle a sword myself as well. Far better than any mere peasant. They're getting closer. Now remember, you're not to leave this room. Understood? You're my property. A property does not defy the will of its master.
And what if I come out?
Ceren, you'll not be of any help to me out there. And should you have struck me in any way, I would not hesitate to kill you. You don't have a choice. Is that clear?
Francois.
What? Time is running short.
I love you.
I will always place myself, the Lord Jean-Francois Bonnier, above anything else in the world. And you second.
Oh, wait! Second? That's kinda super crazy. Whoa, isn't it? Whoa. I'm shaking a bit here. I've never felt this way before. Is this what being scared feels like? This is a lot worse than I imagined. It hurts real bad. Like someone's sitting on my chest. I can hardly even breathe right. But it's kind of really wonderful. Oh, I can't do this. I can't be away from him.
It is a great shame what happened to Ginevra. The post-revolution merrymaking continued into the wee hours of the morning. After things settled down and men returned to the city, an elderly man calling himself Odilon showed himself before me. Beside his evident age, the man stood tall and spoke in a clear, confident voice. Looking into his deep sapphire eyes, I felt as though I could see everything he had borne witness into in these walls engraved within them. Odilon revealed himself as an ally to the revolution, and as having been in contact with Genova. Had things proceeded as initially planned, which is to take power and build the land anew with my assistant. But great change is never without its cost. Nevertheless, I am unspeakably grateful for how swiftly you managed to dethrone the former lord. Without your heroic efforts, we were still... Enough with the ass-kissing. Tell me who you are and exactly what you're hoping to get out of me. No need to be so apprehensive, I assure you. I'm more than happy to tell you everything you wish to know. I serve as consul to late Jean-Francois Bonnier. And 'twas I who aided the revolution from within the manor's walls, coordinated with Geneva on the outside. So that makes you the one who ordered the gates open for us, then? Verily. Furthermore, I arranged to have a number of the guards turn coat. Well, you did fine work. Would have lost a lot more men without your efforts. I have to ask, though, where were you while it was actually happening? I don't recall seeing you anywhere. I took the liberty of finding myself shelter. How fortunate for you to be able to kick back and watch. Only cry out your hoe after you relieve the lord of his head. Might you perchance be suggesting this old bag of bones take up the blade? It will only serve as an impediment to your success. 30 years ago, mayhaps, but hardly could I point a sword straight today. Or perhaps you would say that I, as a supporter of your cause, should have been present for the occasion regardless. Of little's aid I would have been, merely dying a fool's death, becoming as naught but another's body upon which the living would tread. You're skilled with your words, old man. Of course, 'tis my job. This is but one service I can provide you. My knowledge. Knowledge? Meaning you intend to continue to serve as the Lord's consul. For what other reason would I lend my hand to this revolution? You expect me to just take your word, to trust you. Surely you're aware that you cannot rightfully govern this territory without the acknowledgement of neighboring counts and the king. I have knowledge and connections which would prove invaluable in establishing you as legitimate and qualified to inherit the throne. Yes, I know. Do not saunter into your blind. I still don't have to figure out how I would accomplish that, but... Wait. I recognize you from somewhere. I remember. You were here during the revolt 3 years ago. You're the one who helped Barnier escape. 'Twas indeed I. There's all the more reason not to trust you. You sat back and watched, not a damn peep, as that clown of his lord left his people to rot. Like hell to let you be my consul. You're an astute young man, but still far too green for your own good. And you failed to fully separate yourself from your old life. Excuse me? I assure you, I was no more fond of Lord Barnier's predilections than you. But as I am sure you are aware, he was quick to send his opponent off to the gallows. He would be no more merciful to his consul than a slum dweller. My objections would have ensured but one thing, a swift, meaningless death. Moreover, it was not yet the time and stayed your hand, nay? I too had reached the same conclusion and was awaiting the appropriate time. The perfect time to rearrange the board. Gah. You must dispense of the childish emotion that controls you. Act exclusively in the service of which most benefits you. You cannot do so without someone to guide you. You are still merely a fledgling, young man. You know not from down in the vast new world. You have neither an army nor the weapons with which to defend yourself. Should you go out into that world unaccompanied, it will snap your neck before you feel the hands upon your skin. And what benefits are you hoping to reap from this? You're not acting out of love for the people, though much is obvious. I chanced to fulfill my duties as consul to the Lord. My expertise went largely unused under Lord Barnier's rule. 'Twas a deeply frustrating time for me. Though if I may be blunt, perhaps I should say that I would like to die, know that I accomplished something worthwhile with my life. I can promise you, I have no intention of mistreating the people for my own personal amusement. You still give me no reason to actually trust you. Allow my work to speak for my words. Allow me to proffer unto you my knowledge that might be of service to you. I don't completely trust this man, nor do I think I ever will. He's after something. Probably wants to use me as a puppet under the guise of assisting me as my consul. He makes a good point, though. I'll need someone to show me the ropes if I want any chance of governing effectively. Have you come to your decision? Okay. It's a pleasure to have you, Odlon. At your service. That said, try anything and you'll be out the door faster than you can blink. Understood. Good. Now, if I may, I'd like to offer you my first instruction. And what would that be? You would need to make a formal proclamation of your succession. There's still many among your people who know not who you are. Thus, you must declare yourself the rightful heir, the last son of Lord Barnier's predecessor. You must assume a new name. Say again? The name in which you were known before is but a veil behind which you guard your noble identity. The time has come now for you to reclaim your true self. Hold on a second. I'm not... Yes, I am aware of your lineage. Okay, then what's the name do you suppose I should take? You shall assume his name, John Francois Barnier. Is this some kind of sick joke? You're insane, you think I'm taking on that psychopathic killer's name. Why in this green earth would I ever want to call myself after the man I dethroned? Among the nobility, names are often passed on, from father to son, to brother to brother. Why his name? A name associated with fear and tyranny. Are you trying to hobble me before I take my first step? You will remove the stain his deeds have left upon the name. Lord Barnier killed his father, brothers, and all their families and attendants, as Geneva would likely told you. Why do you suppose he killed them? Are you mocking me, old man? He killed him because he was a damn madman. Lord Barnier was not the rightful heir. Excuse me? There was many a stand-in to be disposed of and quietly replaced when it came to time. However, he grew voracious for power, fixated on becoming the Lord himself. So he killed everyone who stood in his way, both the Barnier family and attendants who knew the truth. Though he failed to realize that the Lord had sired another son. You, the rightful inheritor of the Lord John Francois Barnier's name. So that's our story, huh? I'm not the fake he was. When the truth is revealed, the people will be enraptured, and crucially, the damage to the Barnier family name will be minimized. After all, the Barniers were but victims of this charlatan's avarice. As you are to take on the Barnier's family name, it is to your benefit that the reputation you inherit is as unblemished as possible. Furthermore, you have nothing to gain from keeping your present name. No longer are you the man you were in the slums. You must become a new man entirely. Gah. Enough. I need time to think. A day. Give me just one. I cannot. 'Tis a matter of the utmost importance. You must act swiftly, for the opportunity will pass and the tides turn against you anon. The people are on your side for now. However, should you fail to expeditiously demonstrate that you, as the new lord, are likewise on their side, you'll find yourself with more than counts upon your doorsteps. You must decide now. Sir. All right. I'll swallow my pride. I knew there would need to be some changes before I embarked on this road. So this isn't unexpected, just moving quicker than I was prepared for. A wise decision. Now, before we move on to the next order of business, I must ask, Are you physically well enough to remain on your feet for a short while longer? You will need to stand before your people and make a speech. Nevertheless, it is evident that you are wounded from your battle. It would reflect poorly on your accomplishments were you to collapse during your first appearance. I'll be fine. I can hold myself up long enough to give a speech. Oh ho! Youth, what a wonderful thing. You must be sure to get your rest once you have finished. I will arrange for the best doctor to come and examine you. I appreciate it. Now then, let's be off. You need merely repeat after me.
Hey, did you hear the new Lord's speech? Barnier was a fraud this entire time.
What? No way! By God, I should have skipped work and gone up to the man to see it.
You still got a chance. Go down to the square. Town crier spreading the word of the whole thing.
Did you hear? The new Lord led the charge on the revolution. And he was the real Jean-Francois Barnier.
I heard. I was there for his speech. He's so young.
And easy on the eyes to boot. They say he spent years living in the slums, hiding his true identity. It must have been so difficult for him.
At long last, we're free from our suffering. Free from the terror of Lord Barnier.
Free from the terror!
Yay!
Cheers to the new Lord!
Yeah!
Cheers! Oh, give me a break. You're no damn Lord.
How goes it, Maria? You look like you ain't slept in weeks. Where's your smile, girl? Today's a day for celebrating.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
What?
You're the one who pushed him into this.
What are you getting pissy about?
You pressured him into this dumbass revolution, into becoming the fucking Lord.
Well, that ain't what happened at all. Jacobo's the one who proposed the whole thing.
Bullshit. He was trying to talk sense into you at the Midsummer Festival.
For the love of cripes. What called up your ass and died? The batshit asshole's gone. Now we got someone on our side in power. What's there to complain about?
Is there anything in that meathead of yours?
What was that?
You do realize he can never come back now, right? He's the Lord. He's gone, and he's gone for good. Up there in that manor, all by himself. And you dragged him up to the top of that hill and left him there.
I get that you want someone to take this out on. Jacopo's also the one who proposed becoming the Lord.
No.
I didn't push a damn thing on him. He showed up one day with a ring bearing the Barnier family crest. Then told everyone he was royalty and he had a claim to the throne.
This is insane.
It was his words that sparked the revolution.
There's no way. Jacobo is royalty? You need to get a better sense of humor.
My thoughts exactly at first too, but then I saw the crest on the ring. It's the real deal. You missed the whole part when he put on the ring in front of everyone before we stormed the manor. His whole spiel about being in the air. It was pretty damn convincing, if I do say so myself.
You seriously think I was there for some stupid pep talk?
Ain't you his friend? I feel like a friend should be rooting for his success, you know? That's what I'm doing. I can say that much. Anyway, I got a hot date with a couple of kegs, so I'm out of here. Unless you want to come with. We're gonna be partying all night long.
Like hell I'm coming.
Just thought I'd ask. You don't have to look so sour all the time, okay? Much prettier when you're smiling.
Choke on a dick, asshole.
Duly noted. Later.
I can't root for him because he's my friend. I know better than anyone that he's in over his head. All I can do is pray for you, Jacobo. Pray that you'll always be the Jacobo we know. That this won't change you. We're still friends, right? Even if we're worlds apart now.
As it gave me just enough time to recover, Odolan quickly got to work instructing me in everything I need to know to be a lord. My first priority was to revitalize the city, clean up the mess my predecessor left it in. As much as I wanted to ensure that everyone had food and water, this simply wasn't possible to make happen overnight. We'd need to significantly expand our farmland, build additional granaries, repair existing irrigation canals, not to mention crack down crime and disorder. There was so much to do, it was almost dizzying, but the last thing I had the time to do was whine. That said, none of it could happen with a snap of the fingers. It would take time and manpower, which meant we had to use existing stores in the meantime. I asked the people, particularly among the upper class, to relinquish ownership of their stockpiles for me to redistribute among their population. To allow everyone to make it through the transitional period, I figured. Naturally, though, not everyone was happy with the arrangement. The cries of dissatisfaction were drowned out by my cheers of support when I explained that it was for everyone's sake. They would need to band together to carry the whole city through what would be a rocky transition. I was patting myself on the back for a job well done. Odon shook his head and said, "To hold a year at most. We're not stores to last at least 3 years, though. 2, we want to be extra safe. They'll set your men in place long before the stores run dry." Excuse me? Why would they? I'm obviously doing everything in my power to revitalize the city. I was the one who freed them from the claws of the tyrant. The people want to see the results. Don't accept your promises of improvement now. If in a year's time do not see those words bear fruit, their trust in you will wither away. That you came for the slums viewed now as a heroic rise to power, but your past will soon be turned against you, used to delegitimize you. You must produce for them tangible results. God, I knew this wouldn't be easy, but still, it boils my blood to think my predecessor sat around his ass all day. Did he even accomplish anything in his entire time as the Lord? I can think of only one truly positive effect on his regime. His support for the arts. His what? Surely I've seen the numerous pieces of art adorning his manor's walls. He would often treat himself with works from the finest artists and artisans in the land. Oh, you mean all those paintings and vases and fancy drapes? Bunch of worthless junk, every last bit of it. None of it do anything to fill the people's empty stomachs. To assume you understand not the value of art. Well, I did grow up in the slums. Do you know what purpose art serves? To make you feel better? It's nice to have around, but not much more than that. Prize, my boy. Those who hunger for power similarly hunger for ways to flaunt it, and the singularity of a piece of art fills that role. Some have a genuine appreciation for art, others merely use it as a tool. But nonetheless, skilled craftsmen, artists, and their work naturally gravitate towards those with power. 'Twould be wise for you to consider dressing somewhat less pedestrian soon. Now, try to put the former lord's possessions to good use in helping you build up valuable relationships. You start hitting out bribes? Indeed, but remember, they are negotiation tools. You must use them where to provide you the greatest returns. Negotiations, huh? Alright, I think I see what you're getting at. I want to revitalize the city in a year. Would need help from my good neighbors. In exchange for provisions and workers, I offer the various counts pieces from Barnier's collection. Sounds about right? Precisely. My, you're much cleverer than I would expect of a man from the slums. Now if only we become accustomed to this manner of thinking, you could become a fine leader in short order. I appreciate the concern, old man. I will dispatch messengers and arrange meetings with the council so we can begin anon. And I hope I do not have to remind you, but you need to be very careful with your words, Lord Barnier. Yeah, I know. You seem quite tired, Lord Barnier. You think? Every day I have to go meet with someone new, and I spend all my travel time learning how to read and write. It's enough to exhaust anyone. 'Tis necessary, nonetheless. Illiteracy will only... Yes, I know. You said I look tired. I'm telling you why that is. I never said I had a problem with it. I overstep. My apologies. Your diligence has been invaluable and earned the Count's favors, Lord Barnier. They think quite fondly of you. Is that so? Because that's certainly not the impression I'm getting. They put on a facade of friendliness, but beneath the surface, they're all laughing, trying to figure out how to best use me, or just outright scoffing. None of one of them sincerely trusts me. I'm just a pawn to them. We're all pieces of one another's boards. What's that supposed to mean? To be most prudent to consider that unqualified friendship simply does not exist in high society. All interpersonal relationships are built upon a foundation of mutual benefit, save for exceedingly rare, short-lived exceptions. Nonetheless, should not consider being used as a bad thing. We all climb atop each other's boards, offering ourselves up as a powerful piece. So do they offer themselves to us. Should you wish to survive in high society, you must always ensure your peers see you as a piece worth playing. That would mean you're putting yourself out there as well, old man. Indeed. I am your pawn, Lord Barnier. I offer myself to you, and you're using me. I gained this position as consul to the Lord. Tis a far more practical and reliable system, the one founded on something so uncertain as emotion, would you not say? Which is the same, I'm pawn to him as much as he is to me. I suppose so. Then I too have to ensure I remain useful. Must be swept aside and another Barnier brought in to take my place. Oh. Sharp words, my lord. But worry not, for no qualms with your performance at present. Now, Lord Barnier, we must discuss your next. Hold on a sec, would you? Yes, sir. You mind not calling me Lord Barnier in private? I gotta understand why you want to keep up with charades, even when no one's looking. But frankly, I'm just not comfortable with it. Very well. Then, my lord, it shall be. Can't say I'm surprised you won't use my real name. But still, yeah, that would do. Thank you. Not at all. Now back to business, my lord. It took long enough, but we're finally starting to see some real progress. A new negotiation with so much work. You'd be proud of your accomplishments, my lord. It is hardly an easy feat to amass that much manpower resources in only 6 months. Doing better than expected, huh? How's public opinion looking? Reports should be coming in by now, I assume. Some dissatisfaction, but numbers are within expectations. Dissatisfied? With what? I spent every waking moment these past 6 months working my ass off to revitalize the city, and people aren't happy with that? They should be jumping with joy. My lord, you must understand that it's nearly impossible to satisfy everyone. A degree of discontent is to be expected. Even so, it should be blindingly obvious how much better I'm doing than that previous basket of rainbows and kittens. All is forgotten on a gentle ebb and flow of time. Past injustices matter little in the face of the present. It hasn't even been a year. The people do not generally care about you, nor will they ever. They may sing your praises one day, but forget about you the next. I believe we have been through this before. Surely there's someone out there who gets it. But it's wishful thinking, my lord. You could work yourself to the very bare bones, and the people would merely see you as fulfilling your duty. You must not seek their approval. More will be expected of you, and more will you be the subject of undeserved resentment, for the simple reason that you exist in a position of power. Only those in a similar position can understand your hardships. Ultimately, then, you have 2 choices. Either dedicate yourself in service to your people, or mercilessly exploit them like your predecessor. I won't follow in that bastard's footsteps. I pray your heart remains true, that you remain a wise and caring lord. Damn it. So what specifically aren't people happy about? The foremost is food shortages. This was anticipated. All we can do is ask them to preserve. The second comes from the upper class. Go on. They are, quite naturally, displeased about being made to surrender their stockpiles. It would be prudent to offer them remuneration in the near future. They're doing well enough for themselves already. My lord. I know, just laying off some steam. So I get to go butter up the rich men in town. Wonderful. The whole idea was to help the less well off, yet here I am. I understand that you're not pleased about this, my lord, but do remember, I have more to fear from a few of the upper class banding together than the entirety of the slums. For they wield the most troublesome weapon, an upper class upbringing. They know precisely who to tell and what to tell about you to tarnish your reputation in the blink of an eye. And do not placate yourself by thinking the common man will see through the attempts to undermine you. Even if they did, unlikely a supposition, that you could do nothing to counter it. They are powerless. It was the people at the bottom who pulled most of the weight, organizing and executing a revolution. So it's an exceptional set of circumstances that allowed the revolution to take place as it did, not the least of which was the Lord's status as unequivocally evil in the eyes of the people. We don't find them all agreeing on anything so readily now. Alright, I get it. The point is, I gotta win over all these rich people, or my whole operation's gonna come to a grinding halt, right? So as much as it rubs me the wrong way, I do what I have to do. A wise decision, my lord. Is that the last of the complaints? No, the influx of immigrants is causing an increase in general unrest. Of course it has. Bring it in to help with the restoration effort, and they go and cause their own new set of problems. It's like I'm chasing my tail here. As long as there's people under your authority, never will you be completely free of strife. You're telling me. So increasing the guards' presence in the city help keep the peace? Most of those with the training necessary are already deployed, meaning you would need to have new guards trained from the ground up. We have to mobilize them where they are most needed. In other words, tighten your grip on the slums. So now I gotta take away their freedom. I know you have personal attachment to that area, my lord, but I must cast it aside. No longer are you men you once were. The slums should have never been allowed to fall into such lawlessness in the first place. You will merely be restoring it to its proper place state. If you truly wish to bring prosperity to this land, you must eventually scale down and then eliminate the slums. If I get rid of the slums, I'll be getting rid of that home. My lord, I know, I understand what you're getting at. I understand that everything you're saying is perfectly logical. I just couldn't hold off on that for a bit. A bunch of guys down there formed this peacekeeper group and, keep the peace. They'd gladly help out if we could talk to them, I'm sure. We can scale up our patrols, but no stepping on their toes. Got it? As you command, my lord.